Okay, so the purpose of the video is to discuss the the code in this pull request and just to give an overview of how things are working along with the demo. So let's get started. This is about conversion of HTTP to WebSockets for all the plugin operations. So this has been complete, and this pull request basically focuses on solving two issues. The first one is this, and which is the conversion, and second one is changing the schema. So as we discussed the reasons to change the schema earlier. Okay, so yeah, and also when the when the new version of GraphQL was added, this file has been commented. So the code that I've done in this pull request was actually not enabled. So I've also managed to get that working in this main index.ts file by adding the load plugins as well. Okay, so let us start with taking an example of this load plugin feature. So as I've discussed earlier, the plugins would be created by the developers only, and whenever a server is instantiated, it should have default plugin data in it. This is not a dummy data, but it is default data, so it should contain the all active features in the mobile app to work smoothly. So basically yeah, in the uninstall aux array, these are just dummy IDs. We can remove them if you want. Okay, now let's run the server. So npm run dev. Okay, I'll first off tell you what it is doing. So let the server run first. Okay, you can see plugin data is already present in the database name. So let us discuss what it is actually doing. So load plugins, basically what it does is it checks if the plugins are already present on the database or not. If they are not present, it just pushes it out. Okay, so we just taking the plugins which are already available. If they are not present, that means the array is empty, we are checking it with the lodash library. Then we'll just then it means that there's no previous data, and then we'll update with our new data, and this will happen only once for the server. And if the data is present, then it will just say that the plugin data is already present at the database name. Okay, and database title comes from these mongoose variable. Okay, so that was about the load plugins. Now for a change, okay, so let me first show you that the plugins were actually present in this Talawa 17 June database. So if I go to here, okay, I have all the plugins, right? Which means the data is already present, so it does not pushes new data again and again. Now let's see what happens if it gets the new database name, if the database is changed. So in this environment variable, first of all, we'll stop the server, and in this environment variable, let's change this database name to Talawa API, and today's date is 16 July. So 16 July. Okay, Talawa API 16 July. So after updating the name, as the database would be empty with the new database name, it would push the default data onto the server. So let's see how it works. Okay, I don't know what's happening. So npm run dev. Okay, I think it is generating the types again because the environment variable is changed. Okay guys, so as we can see here, it has uploaded plugins in the database name, which was the first condition here, right? So with that, now it should be present here. So let's just refresh this. So as you can see, Talawa API 16 July. Going into plugins, it should contain the default data, and as you can see, it is already present with the default data. So that was about the demo of this feature, which is the auto populating plugin data during the initial server setup. With that, let's now discuss the code of the conversion and also the schema change. So first of all, okay, the server is running. I'll close it for now so that we can discuss the code first. So basically, I've started with changing the document. So I've removed this install docs array and the plugin install status variable, and yeah, so I've just changed that, and I've also changed them to the suitable places to match with the types. Okay, so that was the first change. Just a minute. So after changing the model, what I've done is, in the create plugin, when the plugin is being created, we are accepting only name, creator, and description of the plugin. So whenever the plugin is created, I'm automatically initiating the variable with the array. So basically this will not be used more because we are already having the pre-built plugins, but this might be needed in the future. That's why this query exists. So this file just contains the suitable changes with the variable names and updations. Yeah, so the old things I have removed, such as the old test files, as I have to write them again. The old ones may not work, and I'm recording. Yes, okay. So that's for the create plugin. Now let's check for the update plugin status. So about this, the update plugin status, what it does is it basically checks. So it basically toggles the state of install state of plugin. So it basically takes two arguments. First one is args.id, which is the ID of the plugin, object ID of plugin. Second is args.org ID, which is the organization ID. These both are MongoDB object IDs. So basically what it does is it checks if the current org is present in the uninstalled orgs array of that plugin. If it is present, then it basically removes it from the array. If it is not present, it will push it into the array. Okay, so the code basically is doing that, and then after updating its values, we are just updating it on the database and returning the value again. And after all of that is done, we are calling the subscription, which is context.pubsub.publish Talawa plugin updated. We will discuss about this in a bit. So yes, this was about the update plugin status. Now so let's discuss about these type definitions. So these are just updated with the updated schema. As we can see, old variables are removed and new ones are added. So these are pretty self-explanatory. Generated GraphQL types is auto-generated, and the tests have been removed for now. Okay, now let's discuss about the subscription. Subscription I have created for plugins only. I have created a subscription, which basically a subscription in GraphQL is a socket connection. So I've created that with an event. So it basically runs on events. So our subscription is on plugin update. So whenever we want to do something plugin related, we use this subscription, and it basically uses this event, which is the Talawa plugin updated. So this is the string that it uses, and it listens on this. So whenever someone fires that this event has occurred, then our code on plugin update will execute. Basically, I have explained most of the things here. Okay, I think this is extra code. I'll remove this. Yeah. So basically, after subscribing, what you are returning currently is the payload with it. So we are returning the entire payload of the changed plugin only. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, now let's see it in action on the Apollo server user interface. Okay, so now it did not push the plugin data as it is already present, so the server should be working fine. Let's check on a new tab. Okay, so I will give you the demo one by one of using each of those features. We will start with the subscription first. Okay, so I'm basically giving you the demo to how using it on this GraphQL, interactive user interface. Basically, in the application, I have to integrate with the admin and the mobile app. So before that, I'll just show you how to use it on this user interface. The first one is subscription. As we know, we have developed this on plugin update subscription. So this is how it is used in the GraphQL, and you can write the name of the parameters that you want to accept whenever the updated plugin data is returned. So we can accept the plugin name ID, description, and a uninstalled orgs array. That was about that. If we run this query, it will go in the listening status. That means it is working fine, and it is listening to the events. The second one is, okay, this is the old, okay. The second one is the creation of the plugin. So this is how it is done in GraphQL. Basically, we are providing name, created by, and plugin description, and these are the variable that I'm instantiating it with. So let's name it test1, test11, John, testing plugins. Okay, now executing this will generate us the document and return us the ID of it. And also, just a minute. So if you guys noticed, after executing this query, it has generated the response, which is usual, but it has also generated the response on the subscription, which notifies this that this data has been updated. Okay, as we can see, the IDs are also matching here, so it is just posting the updated data. So that was about that. Now this is the most one of the important one, which is update plugin status. So basically what we are doing here is we are giving the plugin ID. So let's try with this. Before running this query, let's check if it is already if it has been reflected on the database or not. So as we can see here, plugins with the name test11 has appeared. Now let's see this update plugin install status query. This will basically toggle this org ID from the array. So basically serving for uninstall and install logic. Okay, so let me just give this plugin ID to it, and this is just an example or organization ID for now. So if I run this now, this does not contain anything. It will actually push this org ID into this uninstalled orgs array. Let me show you. As we can see, it has pushed the org ID into that array, so which means it has been uninstalled. As we have discussed earlier, the plugins are basically installed by default, and then we can uninstall them. So now it has been appeared in the uninstalled orgs array. That means the current status of this is uninstalled for this organization ID. and as we can see here, it has also been received the updated data from our listener, and we get all of the queried fields from this subscription, as we can see. Now if I run this query again, it should remove this ID from the array. So if I run it again, the ID is removed. Okay, so which means it is installed again and it has been removed. We can also check that it has been reflected on the server. So to do that, let's run this again. So this means this has appeared in the uninstalled orgs. Let's change it a bit and run it again. So new ID is also generated, appeared in the uninstalled array. Let's do one more. So as we can see, 3 IDs are appeared here. Refreshing here, should be present in the last. As we can see, 3 IDs appeared here. So for example, this organization wants to enable it again. So what it basically can do is it can fire the query again and it will do it. So as you can see, it is removed here. After executing that, it should also disappear from here. So yes, these are the basic queries that I've done. Now the next work is to basically fire these queries from the Talawa plugins, Talawa admin plugin store, and after that we will be adding the socket listener in the Talawa mobile app, which will keep listening this updated data, and will check if my current active organization on the app is matching with this uninstalled orgs array or not. If it is matching, then it will just disable that feature as it has uninstalled. So if you have any doubts, please reach me out.